Welcome to the Explainer. So if you're the kind of person who really thrives on structure, absolutely loves being outdoors, and you're hunting for a career that perfectly blends hands-on agriculture with top-tier leadership, well, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're mapping out a complete visual roadmap to an incredibly fascinating and honestly super rewarding career. We're going to explore the exact path to becoming a tea plantation manager. We're breaking down every single step you need to take, using real data and insights from our source material to turn this dynamic career path into your everyday reality. Let's get to it.
Okay, let's dive into this. I want you to just take a second and imagine being in complete control of a vast, sweeping tea plantation. We're talking about hundreds of acres of land, a massive workforce, complex processing units, and a supply chain that literally stretches from a tiny little seed in the ground all the way to a steaming cup of tea on a table halfway across the world. It's a massive responsibility, right? So what does it actually take to run an operation of that sheer scale? To break it all down, we're going to follow a 5-step roadmap. First, we'll look at life on the estate, then see if you fit the profile. After that, we'll map out the educational pathway, figure out financing your future, and finally, the best part, explore your salary and career growth.
All right, let's start with part 1, life on the estate. We're discovering the role and the environment.
And this brilliantly illustrates the sheer scope of the job. A tea estate or plantation manager? You are the ultimate coordinator. You're definitely not just sitting behind a desk all day. You're out there supervising and controlling the overall operations of the entire estate. That means coordinating activities from the very first moment of the initial planting process, right on through the careful cultivation and harvesting, all the way to the final storage of those precious leaves in the warehouses. You are literally the vital link between the earth and the economy.
So can you picture yourself in this environment? What does it actually look like day to day? Well, you're looking at working 8 to 9 hours a day, typically 5 to 6 days a week, and a huge portion of that time is spent right out there, outdoors, in the elements. And, nature doesn't exactly work on a strict 9 to 5 schedule, which means shift duties and overtime are pretty common, especially during those peak harvesting seasons. But the workplace itself is incredibly diverse. While a lot of folks manage physical estates, you could also find yourself in tea processing units, research and development centers, working with government organizations like the Tea Board of India, or even consulting for massive corporate tea brands. And it's also absolutely worth noting that our sources specifically highlight that excellent opportunities exist in this field for the differently abled too. Moving right along to part 2, do you fit the profile? These are the essential personality traits for success.
Before we even think about talking about degrees, we kind of need to talk about who you are. Treat this like a quick personal assessment. This role demands 4 key traits. First up, you need natural leadership skills to manage large teams of workers. You also need to genuinely enjoy working outdoors. Seriously, if you prefer an air-conditioned office cubicle, this probably isn't for you. Furthermore, because agriculture is so unpredictable, you've got to be a really quick problem solver. Weather changes, equipment breaks down, and you have to think on your feet to fix situations. And finally, your communication skills just have to be sharp, mostly because you'll be interacting with everyone from the field hands pulling the leaves all the way up to corporate executives.
Now, if you are nodding along to those traits, then you're ready for part 3, the educational pathway. Let's look at the step-by-step academic requirements.
Let's move to the next step and see how this builds. It's a very structured ladder to climb. Step 1 is to complete your 10+2 education, but specifically in the science stream, so you're going to need physics, chemistry, and biology. Once you've got that foundation, step 2 is higher education. You can either complete a full bachelor's degree, a BSc, in fields like botany, horticulture, agricultural sciences, or even specifically tea husbandry and technology. Or, if you want a faster route, you can bypass the full degree and pursue a specialized diploma course in tea management. And for those who want to reach the absolute pinnacle of the field, step 3 is an optional master's degree, an MSc, in a related subject.
The really great news here is that you don't have to figure out where to study all on your own. There is an incredibly robust network of both government and private institutes dedicated to this exact field across India. On the government side, you've got prestigious places like the Indian Institute of Plantation Management down in Bangalore, Assam Agricultural University in Jorhat, and the Taklai Tea Research Institute. And if you're looking at private options, Darjeeling and Kolkata in West Bengal are absolute hubs, hosting institutes like the Darjeeling Tea Research and Management Association and the Tea Tasters Academy. It's so cool because you are literally studying in the very regions where the tea is actually grown.
Now let's tackle part 4, financing your future. We'll cover course fees, scholarships, and loans.
Now, what's really interesting about these numbers is just how flexible the financial investment actually is. Depending entirely on your timeline and your budget, you could start with a short-term certificate program for as little as 10,000 rupees, or go all in and pursue the full 3 to 4 year undergraduate degree, which caps out around 2 lakhs. There's a really clear pathway here for almost every financial situation.
And hey, if those numbers still seem a little daunting, please know that the support systems available to you are incredibly strong. You can access the National Scholarship Portal for merit-based awards and central government schemes. For loans, the Vidya Lakshmi portal is specifically designed by the Ministry of Finance and Education to help students secure funding without the headache. On a regional level, states like West Bengal, Odisha, and Bihar offer dedicated student credit cards with super low interest rates. And, of course, all your standard banks provide education loans for these accredited programs. The financial path is clear, and you are highly supported.
Which brings us to Act 3, our final and definitely most exciting section: salary and career growth. We're talking the financial and professional rewards. Just let that number sink in for a second. According to our sources, the approximate salary of a tea plantation manager ranges between 1 lakh and 1,12,000 rupees per month. When you compare that monthly income to the total cost of your education that we just reviewed, the return on investment here is absolutely staggering. This is for sure a highly lucrative profession.
And guess what? That salary isn't even the ceiling. The growth path in this industry is dynamic and incredibly upwardly mobile. While some folks jump right into a management level after their degree, the overall industry trajectory looks kind of like this. You can begin as a plantation worker, really prove your leadership to become a plantation supervisor, and then step into that crucial manager role. From there, you could be overseeing multiple estates as a general manager. And at the very pinnacle of this whole career path, you could literally become the plantation owner yourself. How amazing is that?
Now, if you're sitting there wondering if this kind of upward mobility is actually possible in the real world, I want to share a quick story directly from the field. This is the story of E. Stephen. He came from really meager means, but he utilized the exact resources we've been talking about. He pursued his studies using a Tata scholarship, taking the financial help that was out there. He decided to join the tea estate in 2007, and today, he's the assistant manager of an estate in Devikulam. It is absolute proof that with the right education and a lot of determination, this structure works.
So, the crucial point is this. We've shown you the environment, the innate personality traits you need, the exact educational steps to take, the smartest ways to fund it all, and those seriously impressive rewards waiting for you at the end. It's a career that beautifully combines science, true leadership, and a deep, deep connection to the land. From a single leaf to a massive estate, the roadmap is clear. The only question left is, are you ready to manage the journey?